School Freeware's Visual Basic Express 2010 Tutorials. Tutorial 5. Radio buttons. Radio buttons hold a Boolean value, which is either true or false. Only one radio button in a group can be checked at one time. Continuing with the application from Tutorial 4, first thing I'll do is put in a group box for the radio buttons. I go to the location of the group box, and I'll change the location to 235 by 21. The size of the group box will be changed to 24 by 290. Within the text, I'll put select and operation. I'll go ahead and change the font to font size 16. Now I'll go ahead and put in the radio buttons. One for add, one for subtract, one for multiplication, and one for division. Click on radio button 1, and I'll change the name to radio button add. The text will be add, and I'll go ahead and put in the location, which would be 934. For radio button 2, put the name radio button sub. The text will be subtract. Radio button 3 will have radio button mult as the name and multiply as the text. Radio button 4, the name will be radio button div, and the text would be divide. For radio button divide, I'll change the location, so it will be 9,250. And what I'll do is I'll just click on the rest of the radio buttons and line them up. And then I'll do a control click on each radio button and go to Format and go to Vertical Spacing and click on Make Equal. So now the radio buttons are all equal. With the interface now modified, first thing to do is change the sign when the different radio buttons are clicked. There's an event called Check Changed, which can be found underneath the events or by double-clicking on the radio button. So go to Add, call up the label, sign.text, and allow that to equal the plus sign. Go ahead and copy, and go back to the form. Double-click on Subtract, right mouse click, paste in, and change the sign to a minus. X for multiply, and a slash for divide. Go ahead and run. And when each radio button is clicked on, the sign changes. I'll go back to Form 1 and double click on Submit so we can change our calculations. So here, with the answer, I'll go if radio button add dot checked equal true, then we'll have the answer equals num1 plus num2, else if radio button subtract dot checked equal true, then, now let's go ahead and copy this, num1 minus num2, else if radio button multiply dot checked equal true, then answer equals num1 multiplied by num2, else if radio button division dot checked equal true, then answer equals num1 divided by num2, and if. And I probably don't need an else if because there's just 4 options at this time, so I could just have an else, and I don't need this line here. But I'll show you a little problem that we may run into when I go ahead and run. And the first thing I'll do is just put in some numbers, and I'll click on submit, and here we have a division. And this is because we don't have a radio button automatically checked when we start the program. If I were to change it to add, subtract, multiply, and so on now, everything will work. But I can go ahead, I'll just click on add and make that the default. I'll go to checked, and I'll turn checked from false to true. Go ahead, run. Add is automatically selected as a default, and then I can go ahead and do my calculations.